guys, the Euros are finished. We have to no longer talk about that. We can now get back to the full business of Manchester United. How we doing, bath time?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Commiserations to the England football team and Anthony Herbert. I saw the show last night. Tremendously amusing.
Monday, I saw
Yeah.
you were nearly a stunt driver today. What's been happening?
Yeah, I just managed to get in the door. It took me an hour to get home. It usually takes about 10 minutes. So a truck's turned over. I think when you're speeding around a roundabout, trying to go too fast, and with a heavy load, he must have just tipped over and it's just caused chaos. It's been a nightmare getting home. But I'm glad to be from home with you guys.
When you saw someone turning so poorly like that on Monday, did you instantly start defending Harry Maguire?
Very funny. I thought you were
Thank you.
I was going to trinket or something about, if you're carrying a heavy load, like I'm carrying you guys through this show, that's how it feels.
Oh, wow.
Okay, he's coming with the bullets.
Fire at me, I fire back. Fire at me, oh. Let's go ahead.
Let's see if they're firing blanks. I can't wait to see all the stuff that you've got.
All right, look, we've got Ed Mayhem in the house. Well, good evening. Long time, Bilal. As usual, chat sport. We see you, man. Who else do we have? Bill Baggio. Aye, live. How you doing, big man? Long time no here live. And look at this. This is a real one. What's happening? Yank talking smack. That's a blast from the past. Long time no see. Long time no hear. I hope you're doing well, man. Look, we had a friendly today. I'm going to be honest with you. I fell asleep at halftime. So I'm going to look. I'm not going to pretend. The goalie played well in the first half. But there wasn't anything that I saw that made me think anything's. I'm hoping things are going to be different. I mean, look, it's the first game. Bath time, you said just before the show that they've only had 4 days training plus flying, so I wasn't expecting too much. I was probably expecting just a pattern, some sort of pattern. Didn't really see anything, but the fact that they're halfway through, well, they've played 15 games this season. You can see the difference in the running. But how did you feel about the game, Bath time?
Yeah, so like, by the way, I haven't made up the thing about 4 days training. I just think that like they went back last Monday, innit? So I'd think that they probably had 3 or 4 days on the pitch. Was the point that I was making. And those, when you come back from pre-season, it's mainly about getting your body used to running again and doing a couple of circuits and things like that. But having said that, I was a little bit worried what I saw out on the pitch. And I suppose the positive is that Rosenberg was seriously impressive. Like they had an incredibly compact team shape. They pressed us high up the pitch. And I don't think that any of our players thought it was going to be anywhere near as tough as it was. Like in the second half, which you missed, we barely crossed the halfway line. Like, and I know we got a lot of kids out there and things, but I think that I expect a little bit more from Mason Mount, Casemiro, Rashford. Like they didn't
senior players.
Yeah, they didn't seem up to it. I mean, like, look, I know a couple of the youngsters had a bit of a bollocks today, but I mean, don't worry about it. Like they're just kids and stuff like that, and you should never hype them up. Like that 15-year-old everyone wanted to come in to play left back instead of Lindelof. There's reasons why you can't do that, and you saw it today. So be a bit kind on the fellas. But it's the senior players that we're allowed to get stuck into. And they were all really disappointing, with the possible exception of Johnny Evans.
And the goalie.
Is he a senior player? I mean, he was at Accrington Stanley last year.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. But he was the goalkeeper was incredible. Like Rosenberg should have won about 8-0, no joke. Like I think they hit the post 4 times.
Gee.
Well, that's what pre-season's for. Are you one for battering teams in pre-season, or do you want to see progress, work in progress? So I'll take the work in progress part of it, to be fair.
I think you want a tough. I think you want like a kind of reminder because you've literally come back from holiday. You know, it's like your first day at work, your first day at school. You want it to be nice and easy, but you kind of need something to set the tempo or the agenda for the entire year. And you want it to come in, and we're here to do work. We're here to perform for our teammates, for the fans, for the staff, and we've got lots to do. So even though it was shocker today, and it was we were poor at every aspect of football today. There's in a way there's no better start than that because it shows how hard you've got to work and like how you've got to get back into it and things like that. And I don't know if we have the quotes from Ten Hag, but once again he's flipped out a little bit. And am I correct in thinking that when we went to the USA last year, Ten Hag had a bit of a meltdown about our performances in friendlies?
Okay, so maybe there's levels that he wants to set. At the end of the day, he's under a little bit more pressure he's under a lot more pressure than he was last season. But he talks about standards. I know he talks about standards a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's right. He's right. They have to understand that Rosenberg want to come out to beat them. So, you know, maybe they did have to step up. But again, I want difficult pre-seasons.
Yeah.
I want teams to cause regardless of who's playing. Even on computer games, I always want Man United to win. That's just how it is, isn't it? But I have no problem it being hard. Rangers is going to be hard. Then you've got Liverpool. You've got the rest of the other games in the States. I expect those to be hard. So when the season starts, they've dealt with a lot of problems that teams have given them. We went out there and won 6-0 today with that team. Oh, United, fine.
Yeah,
no
what's
problem.
the point?
But what's the point? We're not going to learn anything. That's the whole point of pre-season, getting your fitness up, running that extra 10 yards more than you really feel that you need to blow your lungs out. So I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the game. I don't have a problem with the score. Yeah, I did want to watch it, and I do want to beat Liverpool, Rangers, and whoever else we play. But if we don't have the players to do it, we don't have the players to do it. It's not an issue. It's not an issue to me. Get the legs out, get them in, and see where we go.
I did, Mr. B, wonder during the match, like what this is odd even for pre-season, because last night we know what every single person in that squad was doing. Like they're watching the England game without you, or like Casemiro might have stayed up to watch Copa America. He certainly played like he did. So whilst I'm really troubled by what I saw, I think there's a lot of mitigating circumstances for it. I'm quite pleased that Ten Hag and the Manchester United Twitter account have put out the fact that he's really not happy with the performance. I think that's good. And
I've got a quote here, if you
want.
Yes, please.
The result is not The result is not secondary. This from Ten Hag. Our performance as a team is by far not good enough. This is not the standard of top football. We are Man United. We should perform better. Now, granted, I haven't seen the game, but Andrew Williams already saying sack the manager. He's joking, obviously. So the result is not secondary. As Mr. B was saying there, he always wants to win every game, regardless. The result is not secondary. Performance as a team is by far not good enough, and this is not the standard of football, of top football for Manchester United. We are Man United. We should perform better. I like that. I haven't seen the game, but I like to see him come out and be defiant like that and say this ain't acceptable for our standards. That's what we want to hear. That's what I want to hear with a manager who's clearly got the vote of the board, and he's got the trust now to go forward. So he wants to be. I imagine there's a bit of pressure on Ten Hag. We've got a lot of pre-season games, whatever. He wants to see the standard step up, and he demands better from the players. I think all the other guys are doing their job. The coaching staff, and that. It's down to the players to deliver on the pitch. And even if you lose 1-0, you want to see a better performance than what we saw as half-time. It's stressing. It wasn't good.
Yeah, I agree one day. Like I normally don't like I my feelings on Ten Hag, but I was very pleased that he came out and did this. I think it's a nice marker because a lot of the kids that are out today have literally just been winning stuff all their life. Like, you know, they've got youth FA Cups, the under-18 league, stuff like that. Today will have been a bit of a wake-up call to some of them. And whilst Eth is going to be a bit sharp, shall we say, in public, I think you're right about the coaches and stuff. I think that people like Rude should go and talk to that guy, Ennis, I think his name was, a little bit selfish on the ball and things. And I also think we should take into consideration that these boys understand that everyone's going to be watching them. You know, like more people will have seen that than any other game they've played in, with maybe the exception of the FA Youth Cup final. And they're playing against a team that are 15 games into their season and are all looking to make a mark for themselves. But at the same time, it would be nice to see a team that had more energy and looked like they had a plan. Because, honestly, mate, in the second half, we didn't get out.
Was that? Yeah, go on, man.
I just want to ask you, Mr. B, about pre-season training. Do you think it's the right schedule to be having a game 4 days, as Barton would say, into pre-season? Or do you think you should have maybe 2-3 weeks before you start the matches? Because for me, for example, we're setting up our pre-season now. I'm going to do a month of training before we have matches to see
who's played on Saturday.
You played already?
We played on Saturday.
Oh, wow. Well, see, that's different. I want to do the training first, see who turns up every Sunday, go training, and then after 4 weeks, deep into August, we can start having our matches every week, and then we see. So I want to see the fitness levels up before, and go work on a few things before we take it to transfer it to actual games. But you said you started already, so do you think it's better just going to ask you both of you, because you both play football, would you prefer to get your match fitness from games, or would you like to do the running and the drills? Okay.
I was just me. I'm not playing, but as I think it's more down to experience on a personal level. When you get training, I don't see anything, so I want to see them in games, and I moan and I bitch like it's the season, so they better get used to it. So it's just what it is. It's just what it is. In regards to United, I mean, you got to think the season starts in 4 weeks on Monday. How much games go? The season starts in 4 weeks, so we need to get games, and obviously they want to make their money.
Yeah. Bath time, your thoughts on that, about scheduling pre-season, how much training, or do you want to get match training, games preparation? Because last year we were kind of sort of criticised about going on this tour and then not getting time to spend with the players. You know, what are your feelings on
that? They're mixed, because there's I agree with Mr. B, right, that you're always going to get the best experience playing football. Like, pretty much everything you do in football training is about trying to replicate or simulate a football match. So a football match will always give you more. But there's one thing that I really, really like is suffering together. So, like, when you're doing, like, we used to do like 3 1,000-meter runs at the end of the day. And like there would be a break in between them, but it was a killer. It was and I'm good at mid to long distance running, but it was a killer. And I remember literally having to drag people with me on the last 1,000 meters, and I liked that because it was like a kind of team bonding thing. You all suffered together, and that's one thing that I think is really crucial, is that when you come as a team, like today, for example, Casemiro, it must be the first time ever where there's not been a Brazilian or a Portuguese speaker on the pitch, or at least I don't think there was. Except for Casemiro. So Casemiro has been out. He's not played well, but he suffered with his team. And so 6 months down the line, when Will Fish has got to come in because there's a suspension or an injury crisis, Casemiro remembers that time he suffered with him, and this is someone that you can get in the trenches with. So I think that that's really important. On the other hand, I've done really serious pre-seasons, which were, to be honest, were just completely over the top, where the first day we all got put on bicycles and running machines, and they put like breathing apparatus on us. They measured our max oxygen intake, calculated it as an average, and then the next day designed exercises where we would be at 70% of the average, 80% of the average. And I mean, like, look, guys, let's just do some rondos and run around a bit. We don't need that level of sports science for a university team. Absolutely ridiculous.
You
But I hope that
sound
answers your
you're on
question.
the Starship Enterprise or something, man. That is technology at its highest. Wow.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important though to do things together. I think the training is important to have that bonding time together and do your stuff, you know. And like you said about carrying people through the team, if you're doing sprinting drills or hill runs or whatever, you want to carry people, push people on, get them to the standard that's required, not by doing the medical testing that you had or the breathing apparatus and everything, but just by having that sort of teammate mentality and dragging people through and getting through, and even, you know, providing them with a bucket so they can vomit their hearts out after a grueling session. You know, I think that really bonds the team at the beginning. We always see there's a team we played recently, last couple of years, who were very organized, very drilled, and they turned up in the season fit and ready to go, had their drills going, they would arrive early, and it looked like, when I turn up, I thought, oh my God, this team are on it. They're well drilled, they're well on it. You know, they're fit, and they proved it, and it got them a long way, took them a long way. So I think when you turn up, when people start playing games and asking people to get fit during games, it's a bit too late. I think you need to do the work behind closed doors and then go out there and deliver on the pitch. But yeah, it's a good discussion.
Yeah, I mean, one of the strongest findings in sort of sports psychology is private practice, public performance leads to the best results. So, like, I think academies and things these days, a lot of the time they're concentrating on stuff that I don't think is that important, but obviously is because they're professional academies, which is like the body shape when you make position for a bounce pass or something like that. I'm always of the belief that, like, the first thing you need in a team is the willingness to die together, right? And like, that's what I want. That's what I want to see from preseason. It's the people that, like, come, like, you know, they've had a bad day at work the night before, if you're doing it in the morning, and they'll come to running club and they'll just bloody run. And that's what I like.
Mr. B, I don't know what you think about this, but with like the international international manager is always going to struggle if the national team doesn't have an identity, because you get these players together for a few days during the season and they have to change, say, right, we're going to learn this is how I want to play. And we've seen that with England. They may got to the final on having good players who are clutch at scoring late goals and that kind of thing. But when it came down to it, what do they have to fall back on? They don't have that hard graft for training, months and months of being together. You remember in 1970, the Brazilian squad? Obviously, in '66, they got kicked out. They got booted out of the tournament. So in 1970, the same thing happened to them. They were playing in Mexico in 1970. They weren't necessarily favourites, but they got together and had a real big army boot camp beforehand, and that got them tip-top condition and got the unity within the squad as well. So it's a good talking point.
I mean, you've seen every single film that I've ever seen that involves these typically American films where there's like white football players, American football players, and black American football players. They never get on until they get absolutely hammered and all get arrested. And then after that, they go and win the title. And that's what I'm looking for.
That's what the team took out and did go to Dublin. Yeah, well, look, it might work.
Remember the Titans.
It might work. It might work. I tell you what has worked. Our decision to sign Zirkzee. The deal's been done. Officially. Weird time Sunday. Just before the Euros to release a statement, but it was released. He's in. He's officially ours. We've done our little talk on him. Obviously he's the first in. I'm hoping to see him really quickly. I'm hoping that he hits the ground running. Obviously, videos that you watch make him look good. But there's a couple of interviews from various footballing, not just in. What am I talking about? More interviews explaining what he can add to Man United, and I'm excited. These are obviously people who have seen him play, for Bologna and throughout his career. So I think he will add something to us. What I am really, really happy about is the wages apparently that he's on. Now, there was rumors that he was on 150 grand floating around today. which I really hoped wasn't it, because that would have been back to the bad old days. He was on pence at Bologna, and I think he was on 19 grand. We're actually paying him 60 grand a week. Now, to me, that one that'll make him hungry, to increase his value. Maybe it's bonus related, who knows? But I'm delighted with that. We get Martial out on 250 grand a week, and we replace him with somebody who's on 50 grand a week. Maybe he's going to be a 50 grand a week player. We'll have to wait and see. But how do you feel about that, Bath Time? Because I know you go into finances a bit, and you didn't want us to be paying over the odds wages wise.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, the two players that are around that mark of sort of 60k, I think, are Delo and McTominay. And I like the fact that we've sort of got a wage structure where squad players are on about 60k, and if they get into first team, then get to 100k or whatever. My only concern, I would say, at the moment about Zirkzee is he's got all the potential in the world. We really like the look of him. He has to seriously up his numbers at Manchester United. Like I checked today, at Bologna, with goals and assists, meaning a goal contribution, he had one goal contribution every 2.2 matches. That's got to go up at Manchester United. Like, so I'm really hoping that with the fact they understand he's got to increase his output, they've also given him a wage that is obviously it's more than generous, but if he wants bigger wages, he's got to increase that output. So there's room to grow, and he also has to do a hell of a lot better, like in the final third of the pitch, to be a Manchester United player.
I don't know about that. I agree.
Yeah.
When you look at his contribution, I think his contribution has been really well. We've obviously had time since we've been linked with this guy to look at him closer. And the more I do look at him, I think, yeah, this guy is going to do something special. Going to be linking up the play, bringing other guys into play as well to score goals. And I just think it's about contributing. He's going to, whereas he's not number 9 where he's want 20 goals or whatever. I think it's about how he contributes to the team in the final third and what he can bring out on other players. And when I've seen him with Bologna and what he delivers, he definitely is like a different kind of player to anyone else I've seen. I can't think of many players that are similar to him or play that similar role, but he's big, strong, and he's got that freedom. He's got that freedom. You know, when the ball gets played into him, he's like, even though he's got hair out here and out there, a bit like Valderrama, he must have eyes in his back of his head or fish eyes on the side of his head, because he seems to always know where the people are coming from, where he's getting pressed from, and he can drop a shoulder, just turn away and provide a pass and bring us into play. And I think he will attract defenders because someone's so big, and once he does 1-2 touches and does something, people have to pick him up. And you know, it's really what I love about for being a footballer. When I'm playing, I love it, and you must love it too, Mr. BM Bath Time, when someone says, pick up the number 7, pick up, you know, and you feel important, don't you? You feel that, you say, mate, oi, and you know that they're panicking about you, and then suddenly you've got this bit of confidence about you. You say, yeah, they're impressed by me, they want to get me, and then I'm going to shine, and I've obviously made an impression here. So I can see him getting in those sort of areas between the lines, picking up where defenders are a bit unsure whether to go over him or not. He drags people into no man's land, you know. He says, you want to come out here, landmine, bam, I turn you, and I'm gone, and we will start something. And if you want to take me, if you want to come and try and pin me in, then other man's going to create space for other man as well. Very intelligent, very a role that's going to be very important for us. So I hear what you're saying, Bath Time, about the contribution for goals, but I think it's more about the team. And we will see, obviously. You know, I'm not here to say who's right or who's wrong, but we all see different things, don't we? But hopefully, I'm really excited about what he's going to deliver if he starts playing for us. And when I saw the interview with him, he seems like very confident as well when he's talking. And to play the way he does, he has to have that confidence as well. Because he, like I say, it's people, the opponents will be talking about him. Pick him up, the big guy. Pick him up, get up the big one. That's that gives you extreme confidence as well. Bath Time, have you been in that situation before where people have been talking about you? Pick up that number 8, you know, kick him or Mike, see you marking. Why do you marking?
Kick him before he kicks you first.
Yeah,
kick him before he kicks you first. Just when they get with half time.
Yeah, I've had a lot of teams instruct people to go and boot me, but to go to the point that you've just made, let me sort of do it like this, Simone. When you come into a football club, right, there are expectations on you. I think if we get Zirkzee in and we just say we want you to be a guy who plays in between the lines and links play and stuff like this, my fear is that Zirkzee basically is a signing that is to try and get the best out of Rashford, to provide a table for Bruno to combine with him, or to create the space, or to slip it through to Rashford. That's my slight fear about the signing, that it's to try and get value out of Rashford. On day one, what I want the coaches to do with Zirkzee is to have set the tone that he is there to score goals, right? That he's got to develop these aspects of his game. It can't be that he's just going to do what he's done at Bologna a little bit better. It's that he's got to get multi-dimensional as a footballer, the same way we asked Ruud, Luis Zaha, even Rooney in ways. Like, we asked them to sort of develop more, because that way he can play across the line and stuff. But I think from day one, we have to give him the expectation of what we want him to be, and I want to see a goal scorer.
Yeah. Bit like remember Mr. B, Andy Cole. He was banging goals at Newcastle, and he realised he had to come and offer more than just scoring goals. So it's the other way around, isn't it? With Andy Cole's situation.
I think Keane says the same, actually, about how he just used to be a box-to-box midfielder and didn't really sort of touch the ball and stuff, but he had to get more involved. So that's what I mean. Amonde is the 2.2 goal contributions, which is goal and assist, is all right in Serie A at Bologna, to be honest. Like, once every 2 games, getting a goal or assist is fine. But I want the expectation to be on him that he's got to score or assist every match, because we need that goal difference.
Yeah,
I scored higher.
Half time, that's what I want. The same thing you've just said. I want him to be an important player for the team. Don't come in and just be a
servant.
Yeah, exactly. Come in there, make your mark, and a goal or an assist every game, there's no issue. You know, if he gets 20 assists and no goals, I'll take that, because that's 20 assists. That's 20 assists that we didn't have last season.
Yeah.
From so he's assisting somebody else, whether it's Marcus, whether it's Højlund, whether it's Bruno, whoever. I don't care. Whether he gets kicked down in the penalty box 20 times for the season and Bruno gets 20 penalties, it's 20.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll take that. So I'm looking for numbers, and it needs to be 20 plus, 20. Yeah, it needs 25 goals.
I think 25 is a good season for him in terms of goal contributions. If that's 20 goals, 5 assists, or 20 assists, 5 goals, I think that's a really good first season, because Amonde, you have to think that this year the target has to be goals. We've got to score more goals.
Yeah, I totally agree with what both of you are saying. What I'm saying is his confidence is good. When I saw the interview with him, when I saw the way he plays, he's got that instinct about him, that belief, and I think he's a very confident player, and I think he will take this challenge, and just, like you said, the challenge to score more goals and be a better player all round. I think he will take it and go far of it. He was signed by Bayern Munich. He was there in and around them. They've seen something in him. It's not just about your ability or how fast you are, or what drills you can do really well. It's about what confidence you have, what character you have. And I think we've got a winner here. So I'm really looking forward to it. And have someone like Ruud van Nistelrooy around, who's a Dutch legend, to be sort of guiding him and mentoring him as well. It's going to be really important. So, it's exciting.
Do you know my worry, Amonde? You just described Memphis Depay 10 years ago.
No.
The attitude, the confidence,
No, different kind of arrogance. There's a borderline confidence.
You know this. You've got to understand. Memphis Depay was making rap records and doing rap videos. So his
Zirkzee
whole
looks like a Wurzel.
I don't care what he looks like.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's got no front teeth and he's got a yellow tongue. I don't care. As long as he does the job on the pitch, I'm not bothered what they look like. I don't care if he's not a model. He's a footballer. He's not there to sell clothes.
Yeah, I want every signing we get to improve our goal scoring this year. Like, we'll work on defense another year, but like, we can't have negative goal difference, 0 goal difference again. And even 2 seasons ago, it wasn't particularly good, our goal difference. We need to be scoring. Like, how many games are there in a season? 38. Ideally, you'd like 80 goals, but it's got to be above 70.
Just talking about style of play, I want to say hi to Grace Sheridan, saying here the wingers have to do more. Our only pattern of play can't just be Zirkzee dropping deep and playing the wingers in behind as well. So great point there, and welcome to the Man United agenda. It's true though.
I'll take that. He needs a plan A, B, or C. But if plan A is working, then I'll take him dropping in and playing in the wingers. I want to see something. And it can't be this 3-1-6 that we were playing last year. I want to see something.
Well, we've seen the Spanish goal yesterday, for example, the winning goal. What a piece of beauty that was. Playing it into the man who's peeled off Stones and Gahey. Yeah, he first time passes out wide and then gets into the box and finishes off. 1-2 touch football in those sort of areas. I think that's what Zirkzee can really offer us. Decisiveness in the final third. That was a beautiful goal, don't you think? Guys, talk to me. That goal yesterday by Spain, the second goal, magic, don't you think? Someone peeling off the 2 centre backs. Gay, he didn't know what to do. He didn't realise the ball was going to get played into him. Then he's like, right, I'm going to go with this guy, but the guy got in front of him, and it was all over. And everyone says Gay is a good player, good intelligent player, but it was just opened up, just from a bit of movement, worked. Magic like that. So I can see that when I watched that goal, I thought, this is what we could maybe deliver next season.
Maybe.
When I watched the game one day, I thought of you. Like, do you remember? I thought of you. Do you remember the conversation we had once about throw-ins? And you said you were always taught to line a throw-in and throw it forwards. I watched England do that again and again and again and lose the ball every bloody time. And then the Spanish did it the way that I said we were taught to do it, of switching it across. And it made me think that, like, England's got a long way to go in terms of coaching. If they're still, those throw-ins were appalling. I can't remember much else about the game because I was blind drunk, but I got very angry with throw-ins.
Okay. Well, the pre-season's started. We are up and running. And the result obviously is bad, but like I said, performance must have been poor for you guys to say that as well. Just what's next on the agenda with the games and time? When do people come back?
We got Rangers
and Copa America. How long are they off for? What would they off in a couple of weeks or so?
All right. So the Euros boys are very, very unlikely to be involved until the Community Shield. Like Shaw, that's Shaw and Kobe.
Yeah.
Zirkzee, from my understanding, will probably, the earliest he can play is the Liverpool game in America. But most likely it will be the Community Shield for Zirkzee and for De Ligt because of the 3-week holidays and things like that. I'm not sure who else we're linked to. Like Yoro, I don't think he's coming anymore. Like Branthwaite, that's off, innit?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it depends who we sign, but we probably won't see Zirkzee, Shaw, or Kobe till the Community Shield.
So and Martinez, he only played a day
and Martinez,
later.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just the signings now. We need to hit the ground running. We need to get players who didn't play the Euros to get him into our squad.
Yeah. And also, I was going to ask you too, were you surprised that Casemiro started? Especially after what he did in the FA Cup final of like,
they need to, these players need to be seen to get their value up. They need to be seen to be playing. Now, whether or not,
Saudis.
Yeah, well, they need to know that he's lost a little bit of weight. I mean, he looks fit. He still doesn't run any faster than he did. and he's still flying past light, but he looks fit. So maybe now they've seen that, oh, he's serious, you know, that maybe that's when the money will start. Because there's no point in having him sitting down and having Collier, and I mean, I heard Collier did all right today, or not having him played. He was captain, he was out there with his chest held high. Oh, Casemiro's there, good, get the money. You know, he's going to be gone, but there's no point in having him in there sitting down, not being fit. We need spaces to fill at the end of the day as well. There's no point in cutting off our nose despite our face. I was surprised he was captain, to be fair, but that's more what I was surprised about.
It's funny what we're like as a fan base, because like I saw Luke Shaw play last couple of games, game and a half in the Euros final and the semi-final. He came on at half time and performed really well. And I'm thinking, wow, he's our player. Are we going to accept him back? Because I felt there's on the agenda here.
Accept him back.
I think, well, accept him back as in our hearts, because he kind of broke our hearts, and we sort of like thinking we need to replace him because we don't think he's good enough, or he's always inconsistently getting injured and that sort of thing. But seeing him perform at that top level yesterday, I have to say, you know, I'm glad he's our player. You know, I can't think of another English left back who's probably as good as him. I know, because we get comments like this, Shaw, you know, he's injury prone and all that. But when he's fit, when he's on song, he can do the business. And just a couple more points I want to make. So you talked about Casemiro. I think the same applies for him. It's about retribution now. He messed up for the cup final, and Sancho messed up last year by refusing to take sorry.
You're talking like a priest on Monday. Please don't forget how.
Accept Shaw into your heart.
Don't. Shaw's fine.
Two issues, Mr. B. All right. So Shaw, we kind of writ him off as to say, well, let's try and consider someone else coming in. But he shown in the final yesterday, in front of everyone, Showtime, that he can still perform. Casemiro, we're disappointed. Everyone in this channel is disappointed with him. But he was a player not so long ago. He was a decent player. Can he show some retribution and get back to what he is? Because you're talking about he's gone, he's going to Saudi.
You can't be giving these people chances on Monday.
Third player, before I finish, the third player is Sancho. He was gone. I said my piece about him. I said I won't accept him back, but it seems like they've had an agreement. They've apologized. He's apologized what he was supposed to do, and now he's back training with the first team squad. Remember, he wasn't allowed to because he didn't apologize. So the manager is firm but fair, and he's brought him back in and said, Casemiro, if you apologize, you can come back in, but you have to prove me right. Sancho, if you apologize, which he's done, you can come back in the frame, and you have to prove me right, because he wants to save face with the players. You don't lose respect with the players. So if the players know what's gone on and they're just easily brought back in and no punishment, no consequences or repercussions, the manager will lose respect. Clearly, these guys have been coming and they've had to toe the line and say, sorry, boss, and get on with it. And that's what I want to see. So I'll be interested to see how Sancho, Luke Shaw, and Casemiro perform. They could be player of the month before you know it, and we could be singing their praises.
On Monday, please don't. Just you can't. Your memory can't be this. Your memory can't be this. Casemiro played like a motherfucker last season on Monday. Let's not get it twisted. He has to go. We cannot start the season with Casemiro when the transfer window's done for you to be saying, oh, he might be. His legs are gone. You don't get your legs back on Monday. Yeah? They are gone. Yes, from big time experience. His legs are gone, bruv. Why we got him in there? Get rid of Casemiro. All the players who played trash, that includes bloody Marcus. If they can get money for him, F him off. These players have had a whole season to prove themselves. I want to win something on Monday. I'm sick of these players coming in and taking Man United for a bunch of bloody wankers. Yeah? I'm sick and tired of it, bruv. So, yes, I don't think he should be playing. No, yeah, get his price value. Sancho, we struggled the whole of last season for no goals while he was living it up in in Bavaria. Is he taking the piss? And now he's come back to say sorry so that he can run around with his boyfriend Rashford, smiling. Don't wind me up, bruv. Don't. I don't want to. Yeah, if Sancho scores, I'm going to cheer. When McTominay scored, I cheer him. I don't like McTominay. But I want what's best for Man United. Casemiro's not best for Man United. There's no way he's getting his legs back, bruv. There's no way. He's lost his belly and his boobs. He's still shit. He's still slow. He's still slow. Sancho is still selfish. Yeah. The club, us as fans, at the beginning, it split the fan base, and the fan base is still split for a man who was sulking because the manager said that he didn't train well. What do? You get your head down and train well. Your opposition is Anthony. Bruv, your opposition is Anthony. And you sat down for 3 months doing nothing. Are you joking me? Get all of them idiots out.
For half time. Anything to add to that? Because,
sorry.
Mr. B spraying from the mouth and really.
Sorry.
I'm kind of a little bit with Mr. B on this. I think that you've kind of put 3 players into the same constellation of belief that you have there, Amonde. First, with Shaw, most people accept that Shaw, on his day, is one of the best left backs in the Premier League in Europe. Okay, even like watching him in the Euros, just looking at his first touch, you know there's quality there. You can see how desperate Southgate and Ten Hag were to get him in. All right, I understand, like, for example, we deserve better as criticisms, so does Andrew, and that's a good one. But the thing is that no one is saying to get Shaw out for footballing reasons. He's too unreliable, right? He's like an alley cat. He's like Brush. Sometimes he's here, sometimes he isn't. Where does he go? We don't know. See, Brush, I can do random shots at people as well. So that's the first thing, is that, like, it's just that Shaw is a poor value investment at the moment because we don't get enough games from him. You'd say the same about Mason Mount. Casemiro, right? He didn't just let Ten Hag down, he let his teammates down because he refused to be on the bench in an FA Cup final. That doesn't leave you. Like, we've heard the reports today that the England team are not happy with an advert that Bellingham did because it put him as the saviour of the nation. They found it disrespectful. It's going to take a lot for the squad and Ten Hag to forgive Casemiro, and I'm astounded he was given the captaincy today. Who was the third one? Sancho. That is a marriage of disconvenience because we can't sell him and we're legally obliged to give him a place to train. So they've just all had to get together and just accept the situation because, like, our idiot accountants paid him too much. And when we scouted him, we didn't find out that he's like weak and like sulky and throws his toys out of the pram. So those are all 3 different things. The question is how can we have Casemiro start as captain of a squad he let down and a fan base he let down by refusing to sit on the bench in the FA Cup final? I'm astounded.
Interesting that, yeah. I mean, look, it's a good discussion to have, but I just think you can't write people off. Remember last season, Maguire's got to go. Maguire's got to go. This was the narrative coming from the channel and from people talking as well, all the fan base. And by December, when everyone else had been injured, he was in there getting player of the month. So I think there's an opportunity for these guys to show what they're really about, turn it around. They've done wrong last season, as Mr. B said. They had face-to-face talks pre-season. Are you on it? Do you want to be part of this? You need to apologize, humble yourself, and start delivering some good football. If they do, I'll be proud, because I've learned, being a Man United fan, never write anyone off. As long as they're on the books, always get an opportunity. Even Anthony, for example. That's a guy, he's very hard to defend, isn't he? Not on football terms.
Not if you're a fullback.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking about for criticism. He's very hard to defend. Good football, aren't I? We're on the same page. And so I do think if he has a good season this season, what's going to happen to all the people that ran him down and threw him in the trash last season? We can never write people off, especially professional footballers. So if you've got something about you, now's the time to turn it around and prove people wrong. That's what I would like to see.
I'd also like to add that Anthony went mental at playing left back last season twice and was running around and things. And it wouldn't surprise me if his card is a little bit marked by Ten Hag and Ineos for that, because that's not what you expect from Manchester United players. Like in that game, Bruno had one leg and was playing centre back. Like, and say what you want about Bruno, but he doesn't do what Casemiro, Anthony, and Sancho all did. It's a good person to have at the club.
Okay, Mr. B. Are you okay now, Mr. B?
Yeah, sorry, man. I think I just needed. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I just. You sometimes you just push the button on Monday, and in my head I'm saying, "Shut up, shut up, shut up." And once it starts, it just goes. So yeah, I think you got me in a moment there on Monday, man. Sorry, bro. Sorry,
okay,
man.
Okay.
We had one more thing to talk about, and I've completely forgotten what it was. I didn't write it down.
Is it McTominay?
Oh Lord, yeah. So he's been linked with a move away, like he was linked with a move away last season. It sounds like West Ham are interested, but are getting mixed signals from the club, and apparently Galatasaray are trying to work out a solution with the. I have no idea. I don't understand why Scott McTominay would go to Galatasaray to play football. So yeah, it's just. Do you think he's up for sale? Do you think he has a price? I know he's obviously your boy. He's not my boy.
He's our boy.
He's the club's boy. What you? I know you like Scott, so I don't want it to be.
No, you can be as unkind as you want.
No. Do you feel that the club are silently offering him away because he's only got a year left on his contract? You said to me, and then we've probably got a year extension on it, so maybe we've got 2 years on him. Do you think the club are going to be looking to cash in on him, or do you feel that they feel he's a vital cog in the Man United piece? Because he scored 10, regardless of what I think about him, he scored 10 goals last season, and a lot of them were winners, and a lot of them got me off my chair. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, oh, actually, yeah, I would be being a hypocrite if I say I want him to stay. I don't want him to stay. But what are you think
what
that there's something?
Thinking?
Yeah.
I think the Galatasaray stuff, I think it's probably a combination of two things. One is a bit of an expenses where they just want to get out Turkey for the summer. But I would suspect that McTominay might have told the club that he doesn't want to move to an English team. And they because I think when you look at McTominay, right, last year, he was someone that I wouldn't say they were keen to sell, but they were up for selling.
Mm.
He ended the season as the de facto vice captain. When Bruno wasn't around, he was captain. When Bruno was taken off, he got the captain's armband. He's saved Ten Hag. I think that he's one of Ten Hag's favourites now. I'd be surprised if the club are deliberately looking to move him on. I think that this is probably one of two things. One is with that contract coming up, McTominay might be looking for 100, 120 grand a week. It will be his last big contract. And also, this is the most valuable that he will probably be after the season that he's had. I mean, you only have to look at Rodri's record. Rodri has lost the last game he lost for Spain was McTominay picking him up. And the last game he lost for Man City was McTominay picking him up. And there are clubs who I think would be very, very interested in getting Scott McTominay. So and we need money. With Zirkzee, for example, we've paid over his release clause because you have to pay the release clause all at once, I believe.
Mm.
And we've got a cash flow problem. So if we can get 30 million for McTominay, maybe they'll think about it. But I think his value will be nearer Anana's, who's just moved to Aston Villa at 45, 50 million.
45 mil, yeah.
Yeah, for the club, because he's also homegrown. I think McTominay's family is a Celtic, by the way, Regiverse. So I think that this is probably a little bit of paper talk, but there will be something to it. McTominay's agent, I think, will be trying to get the best deal possible for him and looking for negotiations. That's my reading of it. Monday?
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much because I agree with you, Bath Time. Richard Hawkins, how you doing, man? He says, the thing is this guy will always remember we were in 4 conditions for competitions, do we need a squad? Just a couple more comments here. Again, Richard saying here, yeah, well, Scott would be pure profit. So anything over 30 million, I would let him go. Then we need to sort out Amrabat's contract. Andrew Williams saying Scott would be the 15th player out the door if he was managing. Reggie Verse saying here, Leicester City would be a good team for McTominay.
Pinks and McTominay. The dream.
Oh, wow. You're going to support them?
Yeah.
Leicester United.
Leicester till I die with Chris.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. That'd be great fun. Was it Brad? Oh, no.
Yeah, it was Brad as well.
Brad. Stephanie saying here, McTominay will talk his way into remaining at Manchester United as well. We've got Tyrone Williams in the house. He's talking about glad the Euros are over as well. Grace is saying here that McTominay should go to Salford. That's his level. See, he gets this disrespect. I think Mr. B's influenced a lot of people here, isn't he?
No, listen, I influence. Everybody's got eyes, bruv. As I said, I don't know, bath time. Look, I see this picture on here. His eyes always are closed, so maybe he's watching McTominay closed, like he's got it on his happy. I'm not having him, but look, it's horses for courses, isn't it? Talking about rumors, there's one more that's been all over. Tar, we've been linked with Tar.
Leverkusen
defender.
Yeah, okay.
He's 28 years old. Is this because obviously he's by Bayern want him. Do you think that this is just to get them to speed up the De Ligt deal? Or do you think there's something serious in it?
Interesting. Huh? You're thinking about this, aren't you?
Oh, Mom.
It's not as simple as that. All right. Let me say this. Tar's been at Leverkusen for a number of years. If he was that good, I think teams would have been in for him by now. I don't understand. Leverkusen is an industrial city. It's not the prettiest place to live, He's been there for a number of years, always been rated or highly regarded, but no one's come out and bought him, especially the Premiership teams as well. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, kind of like in the Van Dijk sort of mold, as in is his build and structure. But I always wonder why he's not been signed, because I've looked at him for years, and thought, okay, this guy seems like the next big thing. But it's only now that Leverkusen have got a good manager and he's had a good season, going unbeaten in the league, invincibles, that sort of thing, and going, playing in the Germany national side, that people are actually talking about signing him. Why does it take that? Why couldn't they have seen that before? So I'm not interested in him, because I'm always wary of players that suddenly, just from being hot stuff or being the main name at the moment. What were you doing before? Where was the interest before?
Yeah, but were you interested in him, Amonde? You seem to have had your eye on him for a while.
Yeah, I have, but I've always wondered what. It's not me. Like, I'm just talking about watching, or when I used to be deep into Championship Manager years ago, he was always highly regarded. So I go and watch him and see, okay, what's going on with him. Never see no moves about him. Always stayed at the same club, and trust me, it's not a nice city to live in, Leverkusen. It's just like some old East German industrial town. Nothing special about it at all. So why has he not got that move before? And he's 28 now. Great. Okay. He's coming to the peak of his career. But I'm just thinking, why now? What's changed? Just because he's won the league with Leverkusen? Just because Bayern Munich are interested? Mr. B threw that one out there. There's a very good one about, trying to confuse things with legit. I always call it legit now.
Is De Ligt is he going to be De Ligt's replacement?
That's what they're looking at. That's what they were looking at. Yeah, that's what they're looking at.
Right. And so you think we're trying to hurry it up by putting a bid in for Tar?
Yeah.
And then thing is, we do appear to be looking for 3 centre backs, though, don't we? Also, we like for 2 more centre backs.
Yeah.
Like the Euro deal, as far as I understand, is dead in the water. Yeah. Branthwaite, I think, with Anana moving, is probably dead now as well.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. You stole the words out of my mouth. That was about coming next from me. But yeah, thank you for that.
That's all right. You told us we were going to be carried by you tonight. So carry me home with this. Is Tar the replacement target for Yoro and Branthwaite? And is there like any similarity between their play styles, like what they're good at and all that kind of stuff?
We've seen him in the Euros, haven't we? And obviously, if you get to watch German football, a fantastic season last season as well. Yeah, he seems like he's a very good player, tall, imposing, good on the ball-ish, right-footed. So yeah, he's got good attributes, but we don't. That's as far as I know with him. Would Leverkusen be prepared to let him go after such a good season? They'll be again in the Champions League. Can they afford to? Do they need to sell? So many questions we ask, but Bayern Munich usually take the best sort of players in the league. And if they're targeting him and looking to replace and get rid of someone who's young and talented like De Ligt, then it suggests that he must be doing something good. Obviously, they've got a new structure at Bayern Munich now, haven't they? They're going in a new direction and probably need someone. I mean, they've had a few issues with centre back over the last few years, and they've brought in Kim. They've actually, when you look at it, they've got the guy from Tottenham, Dyer as well. So obviously, that's an area that needs to improve, and you wouldn't expect.
That's the part that worries me, man.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect them to be getting rid of someone like De Ligt, so they would have to. I think
it's wages in it with De Ligt.
Yeah, Tar to Bayern Munich would be probably the sensible move, as you said.
How well does does Tar compare to one of my favourites, which is Trevor Shabala?
I think he's better. I can never understand why you like Trevor so much. I just don't think Trevor's that good. I haven't seen what you see with Trevor. Every time I've seen him at Chelsea, he's playing in the back three. Thiago Silva's talking him through games. Obviously, he's physically strong. He can run. But on the ball, I just don't see anything imposing enough to say, yeah, he would be one of my two partnerships in centre back of a back four. I don't see it, but I'm always curious as to why you liked him so much. I just don't think he's good enough. He's not on my radar. There's other players, like you say, with the Everton boy and the guy who went to West Ham recently from Wolves, who
Kilman.
Great recommendation for, Kilman, who I felt maybe better than this young man. But who knows? What do I know? I'm just a stupid pundit on the Man United agenda.
Well, I mean, do you not think that Gay is the sort of the eventual guy that we'll get? He's obviously going to be looking for a move. He's performed well in the Euros, I think. I think Stones probably had a better game than he did yesterday, but overall he's been England's best defender, I think. Is he not the natural replacement for Maguire?
Well, I don't know. You're asking these questions. Yes. I'm not afraid to say I don't know. And I would say this, I don't know. I'm not.
Well, would you take him or would you take Tar?
I'll take Tar over Trevor Traveller.
No, Gay.
Oh, Gay. Oh, sorry, Gay. Oh, right. Oh, sorry. I thought we were still on Trevor. Well, Gay to me is better than Trevor.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. What I witnessed during the Euros, I thought, wow, showed me something about his personality. Even yesterday in the game, he was giving off for something. He times the ball really well. He's not the tallest either, but you can see he's physically strong. I haven't seen him with his shirt off. Not no homo. But I haven't seen him with his shirt off. seeing the way he uses his body, I can imagine he's built like Mr. B. You're
an idiot.
I've seen you top off, Mr. B. Haven't you, Ed Mayhem? We've seen him with top off, and he's ripped. Mr. B's ripped. So, I imagine he's ripped like that. So Gay is an interesting one, but I still think he's not imposing. He's one of these guys, just gets on with it, like Smalling guy, where you just give him instructions, he goes out, does his job, sort of thing. But he's not that. I think we need someone with personality, and I can't imagine Gay. He's too honest. When it gets dirty and technical, and you're playing in the Champions League against these European sides, you're going to pinch your nipple and do all these tricks that Bartine does to opposing players. Does he know how to do that? Can he do a Cellini and pull people out? I don't think he's got that personality. So I would want to see Gay be a bit more ruthless. And after the experience he's had, which his stock has gone way up, it needs to be assessed. Yes, I think we should look at him. But I'm just saying the positives and the negatives. The negatives for me would be I want to see more personality from the guy, be a bit more nasty, and if he's going to make it at a high level at a big time club.
So you take Tar over Gay?
I'll take Gay over Tar.
Okay, and De Ligt would be the number one of all three.
De Ligt's definitely my number one choice, but Gay, with the way he performed, he would be in the running. I don't know what you think, Mr. B, but yeah, I've been impressed by him.
I've not seen Tar, but I like the bits that I've seen of Gay. It's been a surprise. I'm not sure that was his level at Crystal Palace, but it may well have been. It may well have been. So I'm taking. I would take him, but like Andrew Williams was saying, it depends on the price.
Yeah.
We can't go over 50 mil. If they take 50 mil for him, there is no problem. But is that somebody that they would be looking at? United would be looking at, and that would that be just off the Euros? Because let's be honest, he was on nobody's radar before the tournament. So it's something that we'll have to see, depending on what happens further down the line.
I think it's a difficult one with Gay because Elise has moved for 50, 60 million off a release clause. So you've got to think that Palace aren't keen to sell. But I mean, Gay. The thing is that when we talk about Zirkzee and how like Zirkzee is at the right stage to develop and things, like I think Gay is as well. He's come off the back of a great Euros, and I'm not comparing them, but we got Rio Ferdinand basically off the back of an incredible World Cup. Like we got Rooney off the back of the Euros as well. So I think with his Premier League experience and the fact that he's shown that he can mix it with the best in Europe, I would think if we could get him for under 60 million and we pay him under 150k a week or under 100k a week, I think it's a deal worth doing because Euro was going to be about 50 million. I think like Gay might not have the ceiling of a Euro, but I think that you'll get more dependable performances off him in the short term, and we can see how he develops. Plus, he's homegrown.
Interesting that because we just asked who's the Willie boy,
Kambwalla.
Kambwalla. He's been asked to leave. He said you're not going to get first team games, so he's been shopped out now, hasn't he? So he's not.
He wanted to go.
Oh, he wants because he realised
he wanted to play for. Sometimes you get that. He's been sitting in reserves for so long, and maybe if he didn't play and get that whole, the whole game day experience, maybe big up Richard Hawkins. Welcome, man. Welcome to the madness, man, and thanks for becoming our newest member. Thank you, man.
Respect, Rich.
Shit, I've forgotten who we were talking about, don't I?
Well, thanks, Rich, for becoming a member.
Willie.
We were talking about Willie Kambwalla,
and how he had to sit behind Casemiro at centre back for the dog end of the season.
Yeah, he wanted to play. And credit to him. He could have stayed at Man United and been whatever he was doing. But yeah, fair play. He wanted to go and play, and we're all right with that. We've got a buyback and a sell on. So if he excels, and somebody else wants him, then fine, no problem. We make money. If not, he excels and he becomes good enough for United. Welcome back with open arms, no issue.
He showed a lot of personality when the moments he did come. That's what you want to see from young players. When they do come on, you want to show something because you only got a small window to do it. And the couple of games he played last season, I remember when he was going to the fans from a tackle, giving it all that. I thought, tick that box. He's got personality. He's got character. So good luck to him if he does leave. And it's good as well in the way that he wants to get out there as well because he's thinking, I don't want to be sitting on the bench. I think I'm better than that. A bit like the Bellingham factor, a bit like the Pogba factor, a bit like Angels Gomez. I believe in myself. I think I'm a player. So I'm gonna leave and go and prove it elsewhere. And then where you're going to be saying, damn, if only we invested in that young man. So good luck to him.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think he was a very good defender when he played. Like we did the eye test and he made some shocking mistakes. But I suspect that what's happened is that Ten Hag has basically told him he's not ready for the first team, but they believe in him and all this kind of stuff, and that they want to give him a loan and things like that. And he's just said no. Like he wants to be a first teamer at his club. And the club have done brilliantly to get him a move to Villarreal. We got really good money for him as well. Like everyone used to rave about, was it Zidane Iqbal?
Yeah.
Did we sell him for $500,000?
Yeah, and he's fallen. Yeah, Donny haven't heard anything. We haven't heard anything about him.
Yeah, so I wish Willie well, and I hope we get in a situation that Chelsea had with Matic like 10 years ago, where they sent him off to Sporting or something like that in Portugal, and he developed into a world-class player, and they used that buyback clause to bring him home. And I hope that this sets a precedent where instead of loaning players, we're sending them out, we're selling them, but with a buyback.
Mm.
Like, I think that's really good business.
Yeah, Richard's saying here about the buyback as well is a good option. And that's the way we've got to go about things now if we are releasing players, because you don't want them to go off and watch them say, oh, God, they're really good and if only we would have got more money for them. But yeah, what's the percentage, Bath time, Mr. B, of academy players that get into first team football at the same club? It's got to be tiny, really, because we've only seen
it's tiny. We'll have a few coming through, whether or not they're good enough to be first teamers or regulars. We'll see. I mean, obviously we had what's his name's son, the Welsh boy's son, Savage, and we thought he might have been all right. I'm not saying he's fallen off a cliff at Reading, but he's out of sight now.
Yeah,
maybe he wasn't good enough. Maybe these
that Everton boy. Is it Garner?
Yeah.
Garner's another one.
Yeah.
So but they're playing first team football, aren't they? They're playing senior football at a decent level.
That's what they do. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you can never always play. If we look at Chelsea just breed them out and farm them out. Yeah. Get them in young. They're not bothered. There's no allegiance to it. So it's just how it goes. If you're good enough, you stay. If you're not, you'll go. So, look, we'll see what happens. Oh, and Richards is saying that Charlie has a buyback clause. So look, they're not stupid. At least they're starting to hold on to bits a little bit more. But guys, we're on 105. That flew by. Yeah, that flew by. Guys,
Mondays lorry.
That's right. Good to have you back, Bath time.
Nice to be here.
I know this season is going to be good. And everyone else watching, thank you so much for supporting the Man United agenda. Yes, we're bubbling up. The season's about to start in a month or so. And yes, you know how it is. We are on it. We're probably the hardest working channel. We have two jobs, don't we? We multitask. We do our day job and we do our real job, which is delivering good content, Man United agenda, live watch-alongs, eye tests, quizzes, daily previews and reviews. There's so much going on this season. And
I've got to do Dungeons and Dragons soon.
Of course. When is that? Dungeons and Dragons?
Let's say a week on Friday. You'll obviously be working too hard to possibly join us with that extraordinary work ethic you have.
Of course. I know how much both way.
Yeah, you got to carry us harder, Amonda.
Oh, God, look, guys. Look, as I said, there was a few for Grace Sheridan. Welcome to the madness. And I said, and the last one, my brain's gone. I've been talking for too long. The last guy just said, Richard, welcome, especially for becoming a new member. We will be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. We'll always have this, always something to talk about. But yeah, we will definitely be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. On Monday, will you be back or will you be whoring tomorrow?
No, I think you'll be whoring tomorrow, my man.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. I'm out whoring tomorrow. Monday we'll be here tomorrow. I'll be on site. I'll probably be on site TV tomorrow. So guys, look, thanks for watching. As I said, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm doodling because I can't find the outro. Bath time. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, goodbye. Thank you for having me.
On Monday.
Well, don't say thank you for having me. You are part of the channel, man. You're not
I just realised that. I know.
Oh God.
Yeah. See you on Wednesday.
See you later. We're out. Bye.